And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym in the Crypto episode 1256. Today is Tuesday, November 26, 2024, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today's top stories: spot Bitcoin ETFs see $438 million outflows, biggest since the U.S. election. Sui to launch Bitcoin staking. Wisdom Tree files for XRP ETF in Delaware, and Rumble to spend up to $20 million on Bitcoin and new treasury strategy. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a quick look at those prices on the day, see what's happening. Ooh, I got one little sideways, call a little slippage, nothing too major. Again, there's only a few percentage points. When you look at the big scheme of things and the growth of Bitcoin to date, this is nothing. I mean, technically, we're still at an all-time high. The only way you could be stuck in is if you bought Bitcoin at 99K for the most part. Unless you bought Bitcoin at like 98, 99K, you're still good. But Bitcoin days at $93,205, down 1.9%. Ethereum at $3,336, down 0.63%. Number 5, BNB at $618, down 3.22%. Number 9, Cardano at 92 cents, down 6.9%. Avalanche number 10 at $41, down 2.35%. Fear and Greed has went down to 81. Bitcoin dominance 57.8. Ethereum dominance 12.62. And those are your prices on the day. And go ahead and give some quick shout outs to everybody. What up, Joe? Hello. Welcome back to the show. BK Crypto, Kevin Cummings, JB, Wisdom Bars. Tony Nolly said might hit 88K, says BK Crypto. I think so too. I hope so. Bird Time Music Group, Chloe Dior. I didn't see you two up there. What's going on? Hope everyone's doing well today. Short show, not a lot. I can't speak properly. Not a lot of news stories. It looks like as the price kind of consolidates and we see where we're headed next. Still some interesting ones though. What could have costed us this retracement, even though it was going to be normal, natural eventually, was or are these spot Bitcoin ETFs, which saw $438 million outflows. The biggest since the U.S. election. Again, you have to remember this was coming. As I already said, they're kind of playing a money game when it comes to the ETF inflows, outflows, and now ETF options and futures, as well as shorting and leveraging the market long. And that game is that they control at least 10 to 15% of the swing, right? We've already saw and talked about how with the ETF options, it's not like there's individual retail investors jumping into those things as much as it is the rebalancing of portfolios or assets under management companies like BlackRock already have. So this move makes sense. It's like, after they ran it up, they got the price pumping almost 100K and starting to stall out. All right, well, time to do some outflows, time to short the market, time to go to the futures market, time to expire some options and get the money that way. And then toward the end of the year, beginning of next year, reload it all back up the same, which I'm sure late December, early January, we'll see articles that's going to say something like biggest spot ETF inflows seen since the outflows at the end of November, right? Like you'll see it happen right back because I think every couple of months they're going to keep doing these big inflows and big outflows. That way you can essentially gamble on the market and know which direction it's going. It's essentially market manipulation. You can say, I'm going to do $500 million of outflows this week. My whole team knows about it. Let's go ahead and play some shorts, all that good stuff. You do the outflows, the price dips, you collect on the shorts, and then you go right back to putting in those inflows a few weeks later and doing the same thing, going long on the price of Bitcoin and going toward the futures market. So I expect this to continue to happen. And this probably won't be new here in the next few months. We'll start to see this is the game. Well, it'll be really interesting to see if any of these companies like BlackRock or banks in general get the attention of the federal government for market manipulation, because that is clearly what it will be in the next few months by the time you kind of have enough evidence and charts and trends to kind of see like, hey, this isn't a mistake. This thing is happening intentionally. But while that's happening, it looks like you can stake your Bitcoin if you don't want to even play the game. Sui to launch Bitcoin staking. That's right. One of the hottest new cryptos out right now, or at least this cycle. Sui, starting December, Bitcoin holders will be able to stake Bitcoin on Babylon, a Bitcoin layer 2 from the Sui network. Now, I am unfamiliar with Sui. I haven't done my deep dive on it. I know a lot of people are raving about it, but if this is true, if they're allowing this and it works, you better believe Sui is going up, and away we go. a fifth of that lean, and a bag of dro. Hey, all right, shout out to Uncle 40 Water. Babylon Labs and Lombard Protocol are preparing to bring liquid Bitcoin stake into Sui, the burgeoning layer 1 blockchain network. Sui and Babylon disclosed November 25th. Starting in December, Bitcoin holders on Sui will be able to stake Bitcoin on Babylon, a Bitcoin layer 2 network, and mint LBTC. We just saw Wrap BTC dipped to like 5K on, I forgot what network or platform it was on, but we just saw Wrap Bitcoin dip to 5K yesterday or the day before. I didn't cover the story, but I did see it happen. So here we go, playing with what we got. What we call this one? Layer LBTC. Lombard's liquid staking token, according to the announcement. We'll see if this one holds up as well. The initiative aims to onboard Bitcoin liquidity to the Sui ecosystem, growing the decentralized finance ecosystem with LBTC as a collateral asset and inviting Bitcoin holders to do more of their Bitcoin via LBTC, Sui and Babylon said. Now, here's the thing. I want to go ahead and throw this out there. In the short term, this may be a win, right? Bitcoin's coming to Sui. Everyone has decided, community decided Bitcoin, Sui, price goes up. Now, again, I'll start off by saying I haven't done a deep dive into Sui, but on the surface, this reminds me of Terra Luna and every other project before it who sold you something and then said, but we're going to do something with Bitcoin too. And it's just like, why not just do everything on Bitcoin? Like, I'm not, without me doing my due diligence, like, well, why not just do it on Bitcoin? So to me, it always raises a red flag when projects do things like this that aren't inherently on the Bitcoin network itself, because it's just like, you're trying to make a copycat, but it will not be as powerful no matter how you cut it. It won't be a better technology. Now, from community point of view and value, that can add value if people hype it, but just from the rawness of it, I don't know. So that's my first thought with it. The next thought is, yes, if this were the case where it is doing something nefarious, how far and how long does this go? Do they launch Sui or Bitcoin on Sui, staking, whatever, and then in 6 to 8 months at its next all-time high, suddenly, the network messed up. I guess this LBTC doesn't work and all the capital is gone. Well, we'd be looking at one of those things because, again, not saying that they're set up to do it this way, but this is what we've seen in the past whenever we've seen projects start to say, well, we're doing this with Bitcoin and Bitcoin. And it's like, whoa, why don't you just do it on the Bitcoin blockchain, on the Bitcoin network? Why are you doing it on a separate network and then doubling back? Unless you're trying to accumulate Bitcoin and you're telling everyone to buy into your token or your project so you can buy the actual Bitcoin. So again, on the surface, not doing any research, just scratching the quick surface, this is what it looks like to me. I could be totally wrong, but this is the way it looks. 5252 Bitcoin. What's going on? What to do? Warriors have phenomenal day. Money from you, Bitcoin for them. There it is. Terra Luna was scandalous, says Saber says, wasn't it though? John Bullware, welcome back to the show. ETFs and market manipulation makes sense. Jake Fever said, don't stake Bitcoin. Sui gonna take it right. All right, there we go. There we go, Jake. Listen, I even look at the comments yet before I did that whole little breakdown. And the fact that I got some hardened seasoned warriors like, nah, don't do it. Hey, I'm listening to you all right? I'm listening to y'all. Price Cobb said, good explanation. I was wondering what was the why of the Bitcoin market added. Okay, I got you. Jake Fever said 85% of the options on the ETFs was on the upside. They just cleared that up. Now it's 100K to get them shorts. Exactly. Now it's time to short the market. And again, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Hey, gang is a great play if you have the capital to do it. That is, listen, if I had 100 million right now, yes, $100 million right now, I will buy a bunch of Bitcoin ETFs with, I don't know, let's say 50 million. And then the other 50 million, I'll just go long on Bitcoin, right? After that's cleared up about 48 hours, I would sell those ETFs, 50 million of those, and then I would short the market with the 50 million plus the profit I made from the compounding interest from the first go around, from the first play. I was shorted with that, and then rinse, watch, repeat once a quarter so you don't get greedy and mess up the market or mess up your own play. Rinse, watch, repeat 4 times a year. That's 2 big plays per. That gives you 8 big wins in 1 year. And we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So that is an amazing play. I'm not mad. It's super illegal, or at least it should be. But as far as it being like, the game is the game, and that is what it is. They said LBTC will become a core asset in Sui's DeFi ecosystem, enabling lending, borrowing, and trading to unlock Bitcoin's $1.8 trillion USD worth of liquidity on Sui. So again, I get what they're saying to scratching the surface. They're saying, hey, Bitcoin's going to be our reserve currency. You can trust trading here, doing this, that, and everything else because Bitcoin's our reserve currency. But I say, for how long will it only be the reserve before, again, Sui stops working? To me, this is the whole play to we're going to take fees in it. We're going to have it on the back end. We're going to keep buying it with all our Sui and all our resources. And as soon as we have enough, that Sui network will stop working. Again, I hope it's not like that, but like this looks like the play to me. Hopefully not, though, because here's the flip side. I think most of those things that happen like that only begin to happen like that, go down that scam route when they start fumbling. So what I mean is, if Sui does this and their timing is perfect and Bitcoin keeps going up the next 8 months, this won't be a problem for at least 2 years unless they make it a problem where they just get super greedy and like just drain liquidity pools. But if they actually try to keep this working, this would not be a problem until at least 2 years when we see like a retracement coming or a bear market. And then even then, if they have sound fundamentals, they'll be fine. But if there's any type of BS going on, the moment Bitcoin dips, and they're using that as a liquidity pool, and essentially their liquidity pool shrinkage. Like this is the same issue I had with Terra Luna when I was like, oh, wait, they're buying Bitcoin as a reserve currency with Terra Luna. And people on this channel called in and argued me. It was like, you don't understand the project. You know what's going on. Bitcoin's only going to make the algorithm stronger. And I was like, well, they said they had an algorithmic coin and all this stuff to begin with, so they wouldn't have to use Bitcoin. But since it's not working and the price is slipping, now they're coming over to it. Again, this is that to me, where it's just like, wait, you're Sui, whole different project, whole different blockchain ecosystem and everything else from what I understand. But you want to add that Bitcoin to the back. Like, I don't know. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, I don't know, Sui. But hey, time will tell. Jake Fever said, after this story, I would sell all of my Sui. This is scammer stuff. Who needs Sui to hold your Bitcoin? That's what I'm saying too. So I don't know. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Bitcoin on Sui. Again, short term, I think it's a money play. As long as the market's good, you're good. You can make a lot of money. But the moment that market dips, whenever that day comes, and Sui's and built this whole background of we collect and reserve Bitcoin, woo-wee, I don't know. I do not know. But again, I'll say this, people. Crypto.com shouldn't be here. Like, just to keep it real, Crypto.com, I can't remember their original name. Crypto.com had a whole nother name that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. Where they're Monaco. They're trying to sell debit cards and putting Bitcoin on debit cards. We knew that was BS when it was happening. Of course it was. They got sued, they paid some fines. Then they popped up in LA at Crypto.com arena, right? Like, Crypto.com shouldn't be where it's at. But hey, since they've been here for the most part, the market has been marketing. And now I think they finally positioned themselves. So it's like, no, we good now. Like, we got enough money to where this isn't a scam, guys. Like, they're actually probably telling their team, like, hey, you got to wear a tie to work today. Like, bro, we used to wear like no shirts and swimming trunks. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, but we're a real company now, man. Like, we were scammed. Like, bro, well, this is the gang. This is the gang. What are we doing? They probably got real members in the office. Like, yeah, this is not what we do. We don't come to work every day and go 9 to 5. They're like, I know that wasn't the plan, but it worked out like that. Like, we're here now. This is good life. So to me, they kind of like, we're going to go down the same direction. They just happen to kind of pivot toward the end and do great. But yeah, I'll keep line. What up, though? Yeah, they call it a Crow or something right now, the Crow token or whatever. It was money to be made on that when they did like their launch. I think they did like a little mini airdrop type of deal. But basically, that's my same point. They've been lasting. They shouldn't have lasted. I think they will last now that they've solidified themselves and actually have a lot of Bitcoin. So if Sui can do the same thing to where, hey, we lying right now. If it don't work out, we'll scam them. If it does work out, it works out. I think that's what's going to happen next. All right, Wisdom Tree is in the news. Files for XRP ETF in Delaware. The state filing is the state level filing is seen as a preliminary step toward SEC approval. Now, I don't know either way. I think the odds of XRP getting an ETF are the same odds as Solana or Ethereum. Does Ethereum even have one now? I can't remember. I think Ethereum does have one. I think the odds are the same. So I think it is possible, especially after they went back and forth with the government and essentially came out on top. However, I don't think it's going to matter. I just don't think it's going to matter. I don't think the interest is there anymore the way it was years ago for an XRP ETF. Not to say they won't get any capital. But again, now you're talking about smaller portions and portions of the pie, right? You got first, you're going to have Bitcoin in general. Then you have the cryptocurrency market as a whole, right? So we've already seen that jack up and split the market share of Bitcoin. So you got Bitcoin in general, Bitcoin network, the internet of money. Then you have the altcoin market and crypto as a whole. Now you have the futures market to go along with it. You have Bitcoin ETFs or ETFs in general. You have ETF options now. So that's just 5 different ones off the top of my head. That's essentially creating a derivative of the market as a whole. And I'm counting Bitcoin as its own market, essentially. So when you add those 5 derivatives, and then you say, well, we're going to have a 6th one with ETS for Ethereum, we're going to have a 7th one with Solana ETF, and now an 8th one with XRP. Again, I do think it can and will get this crazy to where there's 1,000 different cryptos you can ETF, and it'll be up to the wealth managers and banks to pick it. And then that's when we'll be at our next dip. By this time, Bitcoin should be 300,000 to 500,000. Everything should be seemingly going great until the market pops because we have Dogecoin ETFs that make no sense. So that'll be years from now. But right now, I just don't see it. Even if they Ethereum ETF, I think Ethereum will still be lucky to even cross its all-time high. I just don't see BlackRock and all these other guys and gals rebalancing the portfolios for an XRP ETF. Will it happen at times, at moments? Will there be some back end deals going on and some market manipulation, some plays like that going for sure? But I just don't see like an Ethereum ETF or excuse me, an XRP ETF coming out and is like, boom, this changes the market. This changes the game for XRP. Like, I just don't see it right now. The market is already diluted. Money's going in different directions already. Maybe they sprinkle some into an XRP, but again, where's the growth? Like, you beat them, we get it. You're running, but the competition in the US is too high now, as well as some of these other first world countries. So again, you might be relegated to corporations, business to business, or smaller country to smaller country. So I don't know. I'm just starting to think like, is there growth tapped out? Now, I'm not saying it's going to stay at $1, something, $2 for forever. No, again, Bitcoin is going to grow. The whole market is going to grow. So when Bitcoin's 200,000, 150K, I can see XRP at $3 or whatever, right? But it was like, at what cost did you reach that all-time high, as we're always saying, when you're looking at it in Bitcoin? So I don't know. XRP is one of those things where this is what they should be countersuing for to the United States and federal government. It's like, hey, we could have already been in a position and done an XRP ETF that people would have bought into because our confidence was so high and we were one of the first movers. But since you guys stifled us, overregulated us, did some unfair practices to us, we can't even launch this ETF and get the capital we want from this financial product. So I think they have a case there, and that really did affect them. But it's just one of those things was like, man, like, they're talking about Solana ETFs. Not saying it's right, but it's like, yeah, they completely skipped over XRP and they went to Solana because I'm sure of the federal intervention as well that was coming down on XRP. So it sucks to see. But hey, you know what? I've been giving them more and more respect every month and every year, XRP, because they've been lasting and they've been fighting. They have been fighting. And you know what? If you're going to fight for yourself, I'm going to fight for you too. And again, they haven't necessarily done anything wrong in the market. XRP hasn't done anything wrong. It's just another altcoin to me, right? It's just another altcoin, shitcoin to me, whatever. But it's not like they've done anything wrong. Actually, I won't even call it shitcoin. When comparing it to other altcoins and actual shitcoins, you start looking at the meme coins. XRP isn't that bad. When I compare it to Bitcoin, I give a little pat on the head and I tell them to go sit down at the kid table and watch the grown adults do things. But when you're just talking about the rest of the crypto market, XRP is Ripple's an OG mature project, and they've been doing a good job. So it's good to see that they might get that ETF or even the talks of it. I'm sure that's good for their community. But again, it might be a little too late from my point of view. It could shake the price, but how much? Who knows? And then also, you just apply. Like, when would you get it? Do you think they would get it in February, this next cycle? I don't think they would get it that early, especially with a changing of the guard. So realistically, let's give another 2 quarters. Let's say we have an aggressive summer or going into Q3 to where the new administration says we are going to improve ETFs like crazy. Even then, you're looking at what, let's say 7 to 8 months, at least 7 to 8 months before this starts to make any sense, before you even have a chance at it, right? So that's one of the things. Do you wait 7 to 8 months? Bitcoin could be going through a super cycle at that time. Or do you just, I don't know, do you go around it? But either way, it's cool to see. if you ever wake up early one morning and hear some rumblings that an XRP ETF has been accepted or whatever, and it hasn't hit the main news stations yet, I would go ahead and buy into it for like 3 or 4 hours type of deal, trade into it and trade out of it. If you were to wake up, like I said, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you're getting some news from the East Coast. Hey, it's XRP markets haven't really opened yet. Oh, it's time to go. It's time to make them swaps, right? But unless that's the news, I wouldn't just buy and hold for me personally. But I'm sure a lot of people still are big fans of XRP. Let's see. XRP is just trying to keep faith in that crap coin so they go public and IPO Ripple. There we go. Jake, you on fire today. Jake knows the game. I agree with you. I think that's been the plan. Well, I'll tell you about. I don't think that's been the plan, but ever since they started getting messed with, that's been the plan. Right now, if I'm Brad Garlinghouse, it's been a good ride. I was the 5th richest man at one point on the planet from this project. Like, life was good from this project. We went through ups, we went through downs. I fought the U.S. government and won. Like, how many people can say that? Like, so I'm Brad Garlinghouse, Bravo. Let me get him on the show. Bravo as far as what you've done. But yes, I'm with Jake. It is time for them. Like, it's time to rest. Go ahead, clean up that company profile, go public, get what you can get. Time to hand the reins over and go retire on the beach somewhere, on your own private beach or island. So I'm with you on that, Jake. I think their game plan is to go public, IPO that bad boy. It makes sense at this point too, not only from a business perspective, but from a community perspective. Look, the government tried to beat you up for years. Give in and give your project to the people. Give the project to the people who made the government and see what it does from there. Vision 77 said, I think the money will be in getting all the late mofos on board into the market. The game is to be for sure. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Another 5 or 10 years, there's going to be so much money to make in this market from people that is just getting in. So it's going to be amazing to see. All right, last but not least, yeah, I really didn't even go into the story past the headline. I'll see if there's anything else, but I mean, the headline is a story. Yeah, the headline is the story. They're trying to get a Ripple ETF. Last but not least, Rumble is in the news to spend up to $20 million on Bitcoin and new treasury strategy. Rumble has become the latest company to confirm plans to add Bitcoin to its balance sheet after its CEO teased the idea on social media on November 19th. All right, YouTube alternative Rumble, which I'm sure we all have heard of, has become the latest cryptocurrency or the latest company to confirm plans to add Bitcoin to its balance sheet just days after its CEO teased the idea on social media. Now, I'm not going to go into the story. I actually haven't even read it myself, but I can pretty much assume what the story is going to be about. How Rumble is a YouTube alternative where people are using it. Here you can see where the CEO asks everyone by using a poll November 19th who will want the Bitcoin added. Out of 43,790 votes, 93.9% of respondents voted yes to the proposal. And it looks like they're going to be heading that direction. So here's my thing. It will be very interesting. I like, from an analytical point of view, I know exactly what they're trying to do and what they're more likely going to do. What's going to be interesting is seeing how freedom is tested. And so this is my thought. Rumble is a YouTube alternative who's essentially said, hey, things they're shadow banning you for, just outright banning you for on YouTube, or they're kicking you off their platform, deplatforming you for, you can do it here. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. It's more freedom at Rumble. That's what I've heard. They have a lot of content creators on the platform that will be considered radical on other platforms like YouTube or X or things like that, right? They host them. Now, with a platform like that, they're saying, hey, we take all and anyone. We're not going to have these barriers to entry. The best thing for any platform like that is to offer Bitcoin, Monero, Zcash, some type of crypto to where, the government or a third party or bank can't say, hey, we don't like what you're saying about whatever, and now we're going to make sure you can't bank with us or you can't be on this platform. Essentially, this is still crazy. We're doing this in 2024. We are still trying to say, we don't like what you're saying, so we are going to either ban you, try to stop you from banking, or put you in jail because your tongue is too powerful. It's 2024, and we're still scared of other human beings whose tongue is too powerful. Like, if the tongue can do this much damage and strike this much fear, then that probably needs to be the tongue in power. That's how I always feel when I see things like that. But nevertheless, my thing is, if Rumble or platforms like Rumble say, hey, we're going to have a Bitcoin treasury, or we're going to have a Bitcoin reserve and all that, you won't need the money from anyone else, right? And once you don't, or the banking for that matter. So if you don't need the money and banking, now you can go crazy with it. Hey, our creators are allowed to say and do anything on here, and no one can stop it. Without, and this is why I said the freedom will be tested. The only way to stop it would be to get violent. It would have to be some government kidnappings, i.e., sending people to jail, right? Like that would be the only way to stop it. Because if Rumble says, hey, we got this new platform, we got 20, $40 million in Bitcoin, and we got this content creator who's talking the craziest stuff that everybody's angry and upset about. We're going to keep hosting them on our platform. Now you can't have a bank say, well, if you keep hosting, we'll stop banking with you. All right, that's cool. Now you can't have a government say, well, we'll make your internet channel illegal in this region, or we won't allow this for that or funding. That's okay. And like I said, then it will get to the third thing where it's all right, we can't stop, restrict this person's banking. We can't, from a federal or government point of view, kind of, make them do what we want off our monetary demands. Is like, now we need to send the police in there and we need to make up some stories. All right. Now we need to say money laundering. Now we need to say holding the people against their will, kidnapping, when it really was just like you made somebody stay 5 minutes later for work. Now we have to say fraud and all. Like, this is when the stories get created, which I'm telling you will come toward Rumble if this plan goes off without a hitch. It's unfortunate to see. That's the world we are living in. Freedom is, you would say, you gotta be dumb to think you free. So I don't know. I like it. I love to see that Rumble's doing it. I hope other platforms and projects doing it. We need more organizations to hold Bitcoin. That way, I think the more organizations to hold Bitcoin, the less of the virtual signaling you'll see. So when you see all of a sudden it's like, oh, we have to accept a deer and a rhinoceros, I don't know, getting married, and we all need to honor and cherish it. It's like, well, I don't want to honor and cherish a deer and rhinoceros getting married. Like, that's weird to me. I don't got time to be worried about animals and marriages. Like, I got stuff to do in my life. Now, these organizations say, I don't want to virtue signal, act like I like deer and giraffes, rhinoceros getting married. I don't want to virtue signal this. I have my own capital. I have my own banking. I'm going to say it's weird and to keep it away from me, and I can do what I want, right? So I think as more organizations start to do this, like MicroStrategy, like BlackRock, and they're investing in crypto and Bitcoin, they start to get these reserves, expect to start to see them get a little heavier in the britches, right? They're going to start swinging around with a little bit more muscle. They're not going to start caring as much about as other people think or what they need to do. So I do think this will stop the virtual signaling. I can't wait to see more companies start to put Bitcoin on this reserve sheet. But I think Rumble is going to be a great example once they actually start doing this, to the dynamics of how this works in America, right? Because I'm telling you, as soon as they start and they start to feel that power, that no one man should have all this power. They are going to start, oh man, they're going to get sassy with it. They're going to get saucy with it. They're going to be like, hey, you're not talking to me about anything, government or bank or whatever. They're going to do their own thing. And again, I think it will end essentially with physical intervention, because same as tornado cash, you couldn't stop it online, you couldn't talk your way out of it. It's time to go arrest a guy and throw him in jail because he made a website. That is still insane. All right, other than that, that is the show for today. Like I said, it'll be a short one. Last couple of quick comments: is Rumble publicly traded or private? Off the top of my head, I would have to say private because it's pretty new, A, and then B, the type of content they have, I don't see a publicly traded company backing the type of content they have. Again, some of the content creators, when they get deplatformed, it's not necessarily because the platform doesn't like these people or YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's still money at the end of the day. Even if you have a content creator saying the craziest things, if they're bringing you in a high enough number, like we've already seen, our country don't have morals. Like YouTube, come on. YouTube would say you can't talk about, let's say, relationships, for example, right? You can't talk about relationships, or maybe you can't talk about males or females a certain way, but there's videos of shootouts on the same platform. You know what I'm saying? They show rap videos of imitated violence 24/7. So it's like, it's like that with a lot of things. Like, you can't mention certain groups of people on YouTube or do videos about them, but they have actual shootout videos from the cartel on there. So again, it's a private company making their own rules and decisions. But my point is, they care about the money. They don't care about morals. So if they're actually making moves to where, hey, we can lose money by deplatforming people or lose our integrity or whatever, if they're doing it because they don't want to be debanked or don't want a federal government, federal agency to come after them, that's a different story. And that's what I think we've seen with most publicly traded companies or companies that want to be publicly traded. But when you're private, no, you do host those content creators and collaborators who are going to say and do whatever because you don't owe anything to a board or to the public taxpayers. Like you don't owe anything to anybody. You can do what you want. So I would have to assume they're private from that. Satoshi Slim said, I think YouTube is shadow banning me. I can't watch live streams uninterrupted. I think the whole channel is. That's why I was like, I got to redo another channel and figure this out. Let's see. Rumbo's been trying to get crypto YouTubers to come over. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let's see. People still going to ignore crypto. You already know. Yep. Noster and Blue Sky. I've been hearing about them as well. Let's see. What else do we have? All right, I think that is it. All right. Other than that, that is the show for the day. Oh man, I applaud adding the date to the title. You know, I didn't even mean adding the date to the title. It's funny you said that. I didn't even have a title today. So what's today's title? Sui Bitcoin staking. Do you like the date in the title though? I might put a date in the title, make things easier moving forward. Let me know in the comments today, making the date in the title better. But you only get so much for the title. That's why people usually don't put the date in there. But thanks for reminding me. Sui Bitcoin staking and what is this called? XRP ETF. There we go. Boom. All right. Podcast is updated already. This show will be up there probably in about an hour. Other than that, smash that like and share, and I will see you all tomorrow.